We can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com.
In this day and age, the way we work is changing and evolving. Businesses still moving forward despite your work location changing and supply shortages affecting a number of different areas. Office furniture is not immune to the halt in the supply chain. This is why Office Furniture Outfitters has purchased desks, chairs, and tables in bulk to provide you with in-stock options for your place of business, no matter if it's in an office building or at your house. Office Furniture Outfitters is the local supplier for Herman Miller, and they keep Aeron chairs in stock. They will come to your office, lay out, and make recommendations. No project is too big or too small. You can visit them on location at 17th Street and Grand Avenue in the Fort Sanders area, or online at ofonox.com, or give them a call at 865-524-3003. Office Furniture Outfitters, providing East Tennessee's biggest selection and best value for office furniture since 1995.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Woosah, woosah, woosah. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. This is why I'm indifferent to a big change in the weather. I'm a little indifferent to snowstorms and a bunch of snow because it can mean anything. It could mean someone hits some type of pole and impact the internet. And we've had 2 glitches so far during the show. Haven't had any in a long time with Comcast. So I wonder what's going on there. But here we are. We just roll with it. Nothing we can do to control it. We just got to keep it rolling, keep it going, and control what we can control, which is the conversation that we're having during the program. Tennessee LSU tomorrow night. We're talking transfers right now. Tennessee lost out on a couple. And we got Ben back. And Ben, what were you saying before? Had another glitch. You there, Ben? No? We'll keep it going. We'll try to get Ben back in here. He's on. We'll get Ben back in here. Maybe Ben's fed up with everything. Maybe Ben said he's had enough. 865-255-03 is our telephone number here. Here we go, Ben. Can you hear now? Good to go?
Hey, I can hear your beautiful voice now.
Oh, there we go, man. Telling you, man, technology is great when it's great, not when it's not. So the internet's been glitchy. I'm wondering if it's because of the weather. But what were you saying before we was cut off?
Yeah, just saying that. I mean, it's expected that Tyler Barron goes to Kentucky, but the only reason I threw in kind of that, hey, the door's not closed, is just because Tyler Barron has said that himself. Yep. And maybe he's playing the recruiting game and toying with folks and saying that to soften the blow of entering the portal. But he has said from his own mouth that, hey, the door isn't completely closed in terms of potentially returning to Tennessee. So that's the only reason I wanted to throw that in there. But like you were saying, I mean, it would be a surprise if he didn't go to Kentucky.
Yeah, yeah. Florida Vol fans, as we go to the text box, says we need to get GoFundMe for Ben for a 4-wheel drive truck. Well, he don't. I mean, I don't mind getting Ben a new truck, but we don't
I
need
agree.
a truck. Has nothing to do with what's going on right now. And me and Ben are not in the same studio because of the vid going around in the house. Not because of his tires.
And I have a pregnant wife, so
Yeah, so everyone is feeling better. We're on the other side of it, but we have the technology for him to do the show where he is, and me to do the show where I am. But I don't mind getting you a new truck, man. That'd be awesome for you.
now I agree. I do think that we should start a GoFundMe to get me a new truck, just cause
Yeah,
I
I
do
think that'd
agree
be
with
great.
that.
I think it would be great. Big Orange says technology is undefeated. I mean, it's that freaking Comcast, man. It's glitchy right now. Maybe somebody hit some pole or something. I think the weather has something to do with it. It wasn't doing this before. NC Vol says, Swain, I think it's not a huge deal Tyler left. From what I've seen, we didn't have great pressure on the quarterback consistently all year from anyone. Am I wrong? Well, Florida Vol fan says, we miss his smiling face. So they want to see your face. We want to see your face, brother. So Ben can turn on his video at any moment, and y'all can see his face if y'all want to. I can put his face on the video broadcast. Ho! What's up, Ben? All right, I'll work on that. I'll work on getting your face on there, man. Rocking your glasses. So
I look like a bum.
true, but like it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever, man.
I needed a break from seeing you, so
That's all right, man. We all can understand. Sometimes you just need breaks from seeing people. I totally get it, man. I totally get it. But my point on NC Vol's comment is, I think on the surface, you make that comment like, "Oh man, you look at his production," and you downplay it as not a big deal. One thing no one really thinks about is the fact that he can get better. Like he can get better. Like he can improve. And when he improves, he's on your team. But if he's not on your team, you don't benefit from his improvement. I think that's what people are missing. This is why we always get that comment like, "Oh man, you get a player that transfers from here and he goes somewhere else and he balls out." Well, he could have balled out for you if he would have stayed. So this is why it is a blow. It's not the end of the world, nor is it Will Albright in a portal. No offense to Will Albright, just is what it is. But it is a big deal because you have someone that has a talent. He has the ability. He didn't play his best ball this year, but with Rodney Garner spring another offseason, gaining weight, getting stronger, getting smarter, and then not having the distraction of his father not being on the staff, he could be a really good player for you. So I think on the surface, you look at him, oh man, look at his production, look at his numbers, you're missing that, not a big deal. No, he can give you more as he improves. That's why it's a big deal.
my response to that comment is that it is a loss, but I would say that it's not as big of a loss as everybody maybe is making it seem, if that makes sense. Like, he had the potential to come back and be one of the better players in the SEC. He may go to Kentucky and be one of the best players in the SEC. He has that type of potential. He has the type of potential to play at the next level. And under Rodney Garner, you would assume that he was going to tap into that potential and truly be consistent at some point. And you just don't want to see that happen at Kentucky. That would be a big bummer for Tennessee. So it is a big loss from that perspective. But to play the other side of the coin, his production has not matched the recruiting ranking or the hype that he arrived with. So, and again, like I said earlier, I mean, Jared Verse is a better player right now. So if Tennessee can land Jared Verse is going to take snaps away from him as is. So I think there's credence to kind of both sides of the coin, if that makes sense, Swain.
There is. And you know, you need both players, I think, if you want to play in this defense and you want to play 70, 80 snaps and you want to lead the defense out to dry, like this offense, you know, tends to do. It is what it is. You have to be ready for that if you are a defensive player. There's going to be times when you're gonna play 70, 80 snaps. The offense is gonna have a 3 and out that lasted 37 seconds. I mean, those are realities of the situation. So you need more than just. You need to have a broader view than say, all right, well, you're losing Tyler Barron, but if you get Jared Verse, whatever, it's all good. No, it would be best if you had both of them. Because
you need depth.
Yeah, because you need depth. And yeah, Jared Verse could be better than Tyler Barron, but Jared Verse he's not RoboCop. He is not the Terminator. He can't play every snap at full speed. You need to have a strong 8. So this is why my stance is in the gray area. It's not the worst thing ever, but it is a blow because Tyler Barron could improve. Like, people are totally discrediting the fact that he can improve. They're only looking at what he did this year and expecting to have the same production next year. You don't stay the same. You either get better or you get worse. So he could come out next year and be worse. He could. Or he could be better. He could be improved. Just like Theo Jackson. Just like Jeremy Banks. Just like other players on this football team did this previous season. So that's how I'm looking at it. Every school's going to go through it. Every school's going to have departures. And this is just Tennessee's turn to have theirs.
There's going to be one a year, in my opinion. At least one where you're just really disappointed that that player transferred out. I think it's just inevitable. At every school, there's going to be at least one player transfer out that you don't want to transfer out. And if Tyler Barron is the only one that does so, then quite frankly, I think it's a win. Because, again, I think with today's day and age of the transfer portal, I just think it's inevitable that at least one everywhere transfers in which the coach did not want that particular player to transfer. And to your point, Swain, about the depth, go look at Alabama and Georgia on Monday night. How many dudes do they have in the front seven? It's endless. I mean, Georgia's going to have, near double digits, if not double digits, from its front seven alone playing at the next level. And Alabama, it's not the typical Alabama defensive front that we have become used to. They don't have that one superstar. Well, they do have Will Anderson. He came along. But I was more so thinking of a defensive lineman, like the kid that went to the Jets, Quinnen Williams. They don't have that type of defensive lineman up front this year, but Will Anderson off the edge at outside backer has been able to supplement that. But they have dudes in the front seven. It's not just one Byron Young. It's not just Jared Verse. It's nice to have those two as your starters, but to get to where Tennessee wants to be, you need a bunch of dudes in the front seven. Real live dudes, as Mike Eckler would say, RLDs. And you need more than two. And even with Jared Verse, I know I've been hyping him up here this morning. He even is going to have something to prove. He's coming from Albany. playing against the competition that he played at this past year is going to be vastly different than playing in the SEC. So there's no guarantee that he's going to have success at this level. I think that he will, but again, there's a difference in Albany's schedule and the schedule that Tennessee is going to play. So there's no guarantee that he's going to be successful either. So you got to have more than two dudes, and that's where I think it hurts Tennessee the most.
Yeah, for sure. Middle Tennessee Rick says, didn't Tyler Barron say that he was supposed to put on more weight, maybe move to the inside on Tennessee Prime? Yep. But he never specified that was a plan for him at Tennessee, or that was going to be the plan at his new place. Like, Tyler Barron was really smart about how he answered that question. And that could be the plan. That could have been a plan all along for him to come, be at Tennessee and move inside. That could have been a plan. That doesn't mean he didn't think about transferring, and doesn't mean that he won't move inside at Kentucky or his new place. But I thought Tyler Barron handled Tennessee Prime as good as he could have, with the rumors swirling, with the uncertainty of his future, and chip on the text box as, does that say anything about Rodney Garner, or does that just say something about Tyler Barron? I don't look at it that way. I look at it as Rodney Garner's a great coach. Great coach. But Tyler Barron's dad was on the staff. 2 other coaches. And that's stuff that happened with Pruitt, with the investigation, that could create an issue with Abernathy and this regime. And I don't think Abernathy just wanted to deal with it. And he stepped down. And I don't care how great of a coach Rodney Garner is, that can affect you if you are the son of someone on staff. And he doesn't want to be here anymore. Rodney Garner, is he the best? Absolutely. In my opinion, he is. That doesn't mean you can't get great coaching somewhere else and can't be a better player somewhere else. You can. That's me taking off my orange-colored sunglasses. Chip Payne says at least there'll be 3 scholarships available. Well, you can only go add 7. You can only go add 7. King Vol says, I hate losing Beckwith too. He has so much potential.
Did he? I mean, what potential is there to go off of other than his size?
I'm trying to figure out where is there like some secret footage of him jumping over cars and jumping over buildings and running down Teslas on I-40? Like, is he shown some crazy speed and athletic ability that I have not seen? Because I can only go by what I've seen in practice and what I've seen in the games. And what is this potential that people are talking about? Or are they just looking at his dreads and the size?
Yeah, he looks good in shoulder pads. I mean, other than that, that's the only thing that he has shown is that he looks good in shoulder pads at this level. I know he was a really good high school quarterback and a really good high school basketball player, but I mean, other than that, I don't know, Swain. He looks good in pads. That's the only thing that I can come up with.
He looks great in pads, man. That's all I got. That's all I got. LC Vol says this dude danced on the Kentucky logo after the game, and now he's going there. That's crazy. It would be crazy if Tyler Barron was to go to Kentucky. I think that's the favorite right now, in my world, in my opinion. And hey, man, if you got a sweet NIL deal. Sweet NIL deals got these dudes going from LSU to Alabama. Like,
did you see the Eastern Michigan offer?
What do you mean?
Eastern Michigan, one of their prominent boosters or alumni,
yeah. Charlie Batch
is off. Was it Charlie Batch?
Yeah, your boy.
Yeah, my boy. Which I don't. How does he have a mill? I haven't been keeping up with Charlie Batch post Steelers career. But anyways, Eastern Michigan is offering Caleb Williams, the Oklahoma transfer quarterback, $1 million for 1 year to come play at Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, it's a Game Above Capital, which is a firm he works with.
Okay.
Offered that $1 million.
Gotcha.
So
shout out to Charlie Batch. I like Charlie Batch.
Yeah, I mean, hey, money can change you, and let's not be naive here to think that players are not hitting the portal just to see what offers they're going to get. And I don't care how you feel about a school, but if that offer is better than everybody else's, or another school values you more than the current school that you play for, I mean, sorry about stepping on your logo. We can get over it with a nice bag. It's weird. This is a new college football that we're entering. But good point by you, LC Vol. Chip Payne says D. Beckford was on a milk carton all season long. We have no idea what he can and can't do. Exactly.
Well,
that's my point. Like, who knows what D. Beckford can do? People are just assuming based on how he looks, because there's no way to know what he really can do.
But in a way, don't we somewhat know what he can do? Because he did practice, and the coaches saw him in practice and what he can do in practice and didn't put him in the game. And you and I have beat around the bush since August on what he isn't doing to get on the field. So, like, I get it from a game perspective. We don't know what he can do in a game, but on the other hand, we do know what he can do, or I guess what he can't do.
Yeah, we create this weird narrative, man. I won't say it's like Harrison Bailey, because Harrison came in and it was pretty efficient when he came in, but we start these narratives that really get out of hand. Like, D. Beckwood didn't do anything to warrant the hype that he's getting, and the people are like, man, we should have got to find a way to get him on the field. And what's going on with the coaches while he can't play? It ain't the coaches. Like, it ain't nothing wrong with the coaches of why Harrison Bailey didn't play either. It's just we gotta chill out on that.
He does not have SEC football tools. Maybe he'll go elsewhere and prove everybody wrong. But from what he's done in practice last year under Jeremy Pruitt and what he's done in practice this year under Josh Heupel, he's not good enough to play in the SEC. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Not a running back. Nope, not a running back. Rodney and also says, is Barron's father going to Kentucky? I don't think so. That would be very, very surprising, considering, he was, Patrick Abernathy was questioned. You got to think about everybody that was on that staff last year. Everybody was on that staff last year was subjected to some very intense questioning by the law firm that Tennessee hired, dealing with the NCAA. Everyone. And so Patrick stepping down, I don't think makes it look like he's guilty or makes it look like he's innocent. But I don't know if Kentucky would want to bring that on with it being so fresh. So I'm going to say I doubt it. I doubt Patrick Abernathy is going to be a coach. Is going to be at Kentucky. But who knows? But I'm going to say I doubt it today. All right. ATL VFL says, I think we need to move Whitehead to inside linebacker now, too. I mean, I think it depends on what happens with Jalen Wright and Jabari Small and Justin Williams. I think the production during the spring and where guys' heads are, does Jalen Wright stay here. I mean, there was a time when he was in the doghouse. So is he good now? Is he focused and ready to move on? Jabari Small, I know he's very frustrated about his injury. Does he want a fresh start? I'm not saying I heard anything, but being injured is tough, man. It messes with your mentals. So depending on the running back depth, I think it depends on what you do with Whitehead. I always thought he should have been a linebacker, but that's just me.
I would not be surprised to see Tennessee add a transfer running back as well. So maybe that affects the situation.
So if you add a running back, you add a wide receiver, that's only 5 more spots. My goodness, when we gonna address that secondary? When we gonna address that defensive line and linebackers with more than just one player? I think you need to get multiple players at that spot. I think you need to get 2 per spot. That would be 6.
Yeah, and this is why a week ago today, when we were frustrated about the Music City Bowl and Tennessee losing that football game, I stated that the Music City Bowl was a reality check. We were feeling maybe a little bit better about Tennessee's situation going into year 2 of Josh Heupel than it actually was. And it's not Josh Heupel's fault. It's Jeremy Pruitt's fault, quite frankly. And the failed leadership under Jeremy Pruitt or over Jeremy Pruitt that led to last offseason being what last offseason was. I mean, Tennessee's roster is just atrocious. It was this past season, and there's going to be more holes to fill even after this cycle when Tennessee is able to go out and add as many transfers as they're allowed to. There's just so many holes on the roster, Swain. Like, it makes sense for Tennessee to go out and add another running back. It does. But like you just mentioned, there are other positions of need and probably more of a need than running back. It's just, again, I think the Music City Bowl was a reality check because it was a reminder of just how far Tennessee has to go as well.
ATL VFL says, I think we're seeing them go after more high school players to add more than the 7 transfers. Well, I mean, there's a limit at some point. I mean, you've already got 20. And you can add 5 more high school players, and then I guess add the 7 after that. So that'd be a good 12 players that you add to your roster, and we need every bit of them. And then if you want to go over that number, you can always kind of back count and count those towards the 2023 class. But we've seen Butch Jones do that in 2014. We went out there and signed 32 players. So whatever you have to do to make the roster work and address some holes and needs, that's what Heupel and company needs to do. But there's certainly a lot of holes, and we were sitting here after spring telling ourselves, yo, this defense is going to be terrible. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how they're going to field a defense. There's too many holes. We're terrible at this position. Need some help there. And then during the spring and the summer, they just slowly added a piece here, a piece there, a piece there in the portal, and those players became contributors. So we're hopeful that they do the same thing this spring going into the summer, so that way next football season some of those holes will be addressed. I won't say they'll be filled because I think it's going to take multiple years for the depth, the talent to be where we need to be to really compete at a high level. Okay, 865-255-03 is our telephone number. It is time to take a timeout. So we will do that. Hour 3 is approaching. Knock on wood. No issues with the old Comcast, with the internet. I can see Ben, but I'm not going to put Ben up because I hate to call you out, Ben, but your internet is not all that great either. It's the video is kind of.
It's my computer.
Oh yeah. It's your computer.
I've got a. It's not necessarily old, but it's kind of like dog ears. It's older than I've actually than the amount of time I've actually had it, because I've had it since I was a junior in college in 17. And with the job that I have completely run it into the ground. So it gets glitchy at times, and I'll probably be getting a new computer here soon. So instead